Okay, so you and I know each other. We've known each other over many years in similar circles and circumstances. We've really spoken to each other like two women, two humans. And what I didn't know was that you were staying at Anna Wintour's house and that she was a source of consistent check-ins as well as encouragement for this. Is this true?
Absolutely true. You know, she is, the book was her idea. And to have a friend like Anna, she really was the first person who called me right after the 2016 election and, you know, when half the country was in mourning over that loss. And I was so devastated. I was so shattered. And she called me and said, we're going to dinner. And at dinner, she said, I know what you should do next. You should write your story. It's a good story, and you should write it. And I wasn't convinced that I would. I went and then talked to Hillary a couple of days later. She said I should do it. It took some convincing for me to do it, but I did, and I'm glad I did. And it's been incredible therapy. And being out in the world, there's something so liberating and empowering about it. I've really enjoyed it.
I'm so excited to know that, like, Anna Wintour, you know, was there to nurture you. And she's not the warmest creature, you know, so I love hearing that this very stoic woman was what you needed when she was there for you.
Well, she actually gave me the gift of friendship at a time when I really needed it. It was in the midst of one of my very difficult periods in my marriage, and there was a public demand that I be fired because I had chosen to stay with my husband, who had been unfaithful to me, and I, at that moment, had chosen to stay with him. And I remember we were at this dinner, and all the headlines were, is Hillary going to fire Huma? And in the middle of this dinner, she walks over to me as, you know, the cameras are following and says, would you like to have lunch sometime? And really, ever since that moment, you know, pushed me all the time, was always there if I needed something, but pushed me to make decisions, to stay true to myself, to not listen to my detractors. And I'm really great. I've had that with Hillary and I've had that with Anna, and I'm just privileged to have two women like that in my life.
All right, we're talking about really strong women, huge figures here, and Hillary, you know, HRC, as you call her throughout the book. Right. And she famously made a life choice, a political decision, a personal decision. And we're putting ourselves out there. So make no mistake, we've chosen public life.
Yes.
We're not naive about that. We've made a conscious choice.
Yes.
And is it true that you would go and talk to her each time a transgression, as you call it throughout the book with Anthony, you would go into her office, a woman who probably there's no one who could understand more, living in the life, being a huge political figure. What were those conversations?
I think one of the greatest gifts, walking into the White House at 21 during the Clinton administration, I joined this club. It's a club that comes with lifetime membership, and it's a club called Hillaryland. And the thing that's amazing about being in this environment is that it was a workspace where you walked in and you felt like you were respected and your work was valued and everyone took responsibility for things as a community. It was a very much a sense of support. So I would say, you know, that it was a place where as women climbed up the ladders of success, they did not step on the fingers of the women below them, but reached the lowest and pulled the rest of us up too. So it was an environment where it was like, how do we do this job better? Or you did a great job on that speech. How's your mother doing? You should go talk to my allergist. Happy birthday.
Right.
And Hillaryland was all of those things because Hillary Clinton is all of those things. And so to be part of that community, I think did help me throughout, obviously, the highs in my life and certainly the lows in my life. And every time I did have a personal problem, and it wasn't just in my relationship, just generally I'm not feeling well, my mom is not doing well. She always approached these conversations as a friend first and as a boss second. And the advice she always gave me was, do what is right for, I'm here. You do what is right for you. It was never judgmental, and whatever you choose to do, I'm gonna support you.